You're listening to episode 20 of the Connected Yoga Teacher podcast. Welcome, new and returning listeners. I'm your host, Shannon Crow. I live in Ontario, Canada, being a yoga teacher for over 11 years. I'm a mother of 3, and I'm also a consultant for yoga teachers. I teach weekly private and group yoga classes, so I get the struggles that you as a yoga teacher face. Today, I want to share with you 6 tools that I use in my yoga business every day. These tools make my life a little easier and a lot more organized. I am passionate about being a yoga entrepreneur and helping those who want to create a successful yoga business. To me, this means having the time to enjoy life, loving what I do, and getting paid well for it. If you are a new listener, let me share how this podcast began. As a yoga teacher, between the yoga teacher trainings, workshops, and classes, I was feeling like I was pretty alone in the wilderness of yoga entrepreneurship, especially after my first 200-hour yoga teacher training. With the consulting work that I do, I was hearing the same struggle from other teachers. So I wanted to create a place where you, as a yoga teacher, can feel connected between the yoga teacher trainings, classes, and workshops that you are taking. The Connected Yoga Teacher was created so that you can easily connect to knowledge, inspiration, and a community of supportive yoga teachers as we hear about a variety of topics from yoga teachers and other professionals. As a quick recap, because we're now at episode 20, here's what we've covered in the previous 19 episodes. Yoga teacher burnout, how to avoid it, strengthen your at-home yoga practice, trauma-sensitive yoga, 5 ways to assist without touch, setting and achieving big goals, teaching online yoga, breath and pelvic health, core breath and pelvic health, Kegels, Mula Bandha and pelvic health, what to do with your students after Shavasana, setting your prices and defining your value as a yoga teacher, sciatic pain in yoga, creating a successful yoga retreat, building your private yoga business, consent cards and hands-on assists, 5 pages to include in your yoga website, chronic pain and pain care yoga, strengthening your yoga cues, and last week we heard from Andrea Peloso on restorative yoga, and it took us to a whole new level of restorative yoga and understanding that. So that's the quick Coles notes of what's happened in the last 19 episodes. Here we are together at episode 20. Today I wanted to share 6 of my favorite tools. I'm often telling other yoga teachers about these tools in the consultation calls that I do. I just use all of these tools this morning. They help me to really stay on track, and I needed that today. I'm recording this episode the day after my son Colton's grade 8 graduation. I was on the decorating committee during the day. I attended the graduation with family and friends, and then we decided to host the after party here. This isn't our usual style. A really great Friday night for me is now being curled up with a book by 9 p.m. at the very latest. My kids tease me that I'm old. I actually used to stay up really late thinking that I had so much to do and that if I just got a little bit more done, sometimes until 11 p.m., then I'd be further ahead the next day. But I'm learning that the more time I take for self-care, and often that means more sleep as a busy mom and entrepreneur, the more I get done in my workday and the more present I am for my kids, my work, my loved ones, myself. I also have to share that I feel like I struggle every June with this transition to summer. The kids are home for the holidays and my schedule goes for a bit of a loop, and it happens every year. So I'm sort of prepared and I can never be prepared. If you feel like this ever in your life, maybe you're a busy parent and your kids are just leaving school now, or maybe you're just feeling like your organization in your life could use a little more focus. If so, you are going to love today's episode. All of the tools that I'm going to talk about have a free version. So if you're also looking at your finance and your budget, this is a great episode for you. Before we dive in, I just want to add a reminder that if you're going to add one of these tools, I would just pick one. So don't add all 6 tools to add in tomorrow. Add one, see how it fits into your yoga business, and just like any yoga practice or pose, modify it to suit your needs. Also, if you have a great tool, share it with us in the Connected Yoga Teacher group. You can find that by going to theconnectedyogateacher.com, our website, and just click on the big button that says join the community. Okay, so let's dive in. Tool number 1 is my bullet journal. I'm still amazed at how effective this actually is for me. I have a long history with journals. I would buy a really beautiful looking journal. I would pay close attention to how it opened so that I could write on all sides of it. I would get a new pen or maybe some colored markers. And then often I would feel afraid to write anything messy. And quite honestly, if I'm thinking and jotting things down, my thoughts are pretty messy and I straighten them out on the page. The key for me with my bullet journal is to really let go of perfection. So I have a spiral notebook as my bullet journal. It's a lined notebook. I know there are really fancy ones out there. You can get into ones that have stickers and art and have printables and washi tape. The amount of art that can go into a bullet journal is amazing. And sometimes I do take some time and I doodle and I make pretty art in them. But most often, I'm just really trying to get my thoughts down so that my mind feels a little clearer. I also love that there's an index component to this. So yeah, this means that when I buy a bullet journal that's not actually one that has numbers at the bottom of the page, I go through and I number each one of those pages. But this is so that I have a really great index. So say I can index my consultation calls, my yoga class ideas, and they're all in one book. So the biggest takeaway for this is that if you decide that you want to try a bullet journal out, you can for sure look online, but see what really suits your style. So they're so individual in this way. Let go of any perfection. Don't worry, we all make mistakes. Let the mistakes be part of it. And put it all in one book. That's the biggest key. Everything is in one book. If you're thinking, where did I put that class plan? It's in that one book. I also really like that I can sit with the tea outside on my deck in the sunshine, away from my computer, or in my bed at night with my bullet journal. It feels like it offers me a different way of thinking when I write. So I can take a picture of mine. It's really very plain. It's just a spiral, like 5-subject notebook. And I make sure that I always have a new one on hand. Okay, tool number 2 is Schedulicity. Schedulicity is a free scheduling software. I love this. It is great for yoga teachers and studios. We've been using this at the studio that I work at for over 6 years now, and I feel like Schedulicity has really progressed quickly in the last little while. They're starting to add features to it faster than I can even think of, like, oh, I need this. And they have amazing customer support. Just today, I wrote to them and asked them, like, can this be a part of Schedulicity or is it? And they're already starting to write back to me to find out what is it that you're looking for. And if there's enough of a request, then they'll add it. I also got an update today that because this is also how I take my online payments for yoga classes, consulting. It's also where people book a podcast interview with me, and they're starting to do automatic payments. So for instance, if you had a yoga series or if you had a monthly pass that you offered, you can have it applied to your yoga student's credit card every month or at a certain time. Okay, so tool number 3 is Canva. Canva really is my favorite tool at this time for anything to do with graphics, mainly because it's online, it's easy to use, and there is a free version. I do have the paid version now. It takes a little bit of time to learn, and then you are designing each and every project that you have. But if doing graphics is something that you kind of enjoy, by all means, give it a try. It's super beginner friendly. I also love Canva because all of my work is saved online. So it's easy to update a project, share it with others, and then get the exact size for what I need. So for instance, they have sizes on there for a Facebook cover, a poster, a presentation. It's all ready to go. There's a tutorial on there. It's a lot of fun to use. I use Canva for all of the graphics that you'll see. So I use it for anything from the podcast graphics to posts that I do on Facebook, real live posters that I print for my yoga classes. If you are looking for a little more into this, I have an article that I'll put in the show notes, 6 tips to create a great poster. And I actually have an editable version that I share with people. Just make sure to copy before you begin to edit the template so that everyone can use it. One huge tip to remember when you're creating graphics with Canva, create a large enough image or graphic so that when you put it on your website or social media page or you print it out, it doesn't look pixelated or fuzzy looking. So especially if you're using the free version, and I recommend start with the free version first. Remember to make something that is a larger size, so you can add custom sizes on there. Canva also has a lot of templates. So if you're feeling like I'm stuck, I'm not a graphic designer, they have a lot of things where you can look at it and start from there. It's an amazing tool. Tool number 4 really goes along with Canva in my world. Tool number 4 is Pixabay. And again, all of this is going to be in our show notes. I have searched on a lot of sites that offer images free of copyrights, and Pixabay is my favorite to date. You can use the images and you can decide if you want to donate to the artist who shared the image. There are also ads for great images from Shutterstock that show up and try to tempt you to buy those. That's how Pixabay pays for their great site. I like that this site is honoring the artists, allowing you to choose how much you can donate and if you would like to donate when you use a photo. Make sure that you never steal images and always double check the source if you're not sure who owns an image. This is a great chance to take your own images. Also, keep in mind that the size of the photo that you choose depends on what you're using it for. For posters, I like to pick a really big image, something between 1,500 to 2,000 pixels, but this depends on how large you want to make your poster, of course. A lot of the images that you guys will see in our private Facebook group, The Connected Yoga Teacher, are from Pixabay. Most of them are from Pixabay. So what I do is I like to go in and search for yoga or search for something else. You can pick really random things. There are beautiful images in there and they're always adding new ones. Maybe you're a photographer and you'd like to start to submit some of your photos in there as well. Tool number 5 is Trello. This online tool offers endless possibilities for organizing. It's online list making taken to a whole new level. You have the ability to create and share what they call boards, and you can add different lists on there. You can add images. It's very easy to use. Today, I want to focus on one way that I use this tool. Some of you might be able to relate to my struggle. When I go to use social media, I get caught into cute cat videos and cool recipes and posts from my friends, and I get really wrapped up in it and start to be spending lots of time on it. So Trello offers me this social media free workspace time where I get to map out my social media posts for the week. So say, for instance, the Connected Yoga Teacher group is one example, but also my yoga page that my students would look at. This keeps me really focused. I love social media, don't get me wrong, but I really need to watch how much time I'm spending on it, especially if I'm working on my business. And I often will say to people that I'm doing consulting work with, like, use social media for sure, but also use it as though you are an employee, and how would your employer want you using social media? So pick your time, schedule it. I know it's tricky. Trello really helps me to do that, and I'll explain a little bit further how that is. So say I am offering a new session in September. Many of you will be putting your schedules together for September now. So let's just say, for example, I'm going to offer a session on pain care yoga for mobility. This is a session where, say, students can use a chair to help them get down onto their yoga mat. They can also, my target audience might be people who are dealing with chronic pain. My target audience might be people who are 50 plus. Maybe it's a daytime class, it's a retired crowd, and the goal for them is to be more mobile so that they can enjoy life. And I know that sounds like a lot of detail for this session, but I want you to put that much focus onto your session. Really, who is your target audience? Why are they going to the class? What are you offering? When you have that in mind, you can really look at your posts that you want to share. So say you have a Facebook business page or a website. Look for articles, breath practices, poses, any content that's really great for this specialty class, this session, or those people that are 50 plus. You can create your own content in these posts, and that's fantastic. But another option is to use content that's really in line with your message or in line with the focus of that class. So say you're going to make a post every single day. In Trello, at the top, you can put kind of Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday. I like to take the weekend off of social media if I can, kind of make it a Monday to Friday, and create your posts on Trello. So you're not actually putting them on Facebook, but start to map out the text, and maybe you're going to add an image to it and have them all ready on there. That way you know that you're popping onto your social media, sharing those images and the text, and then you can get off as well. Some of you might have ways that you schedule your posts. For sure, share that with us if you have ideas on that. It's a whole other episode. This way of using Trello really helps you to map things out so that you can see the full picture of when you're going to post things and why. One note, if you're going to start using Trello in this way, when you go to post things on your social media, look at, am I offering people a way to sign up for something or an action step that they can take? So maybe they're signing up for your email list, signing up for your class, sharing their comments or their feedback, some way that you're asking your audience, okay, I've shared these posts with you. Now here's a call to action if my message is aligning with your needs. Tool number 6 is the last one today, but it is certainly not the least. It's called Wave. It's one of my favorite tools right now. It's a free accounting software. I started using it last year to send out invoices and take online payments. I love how clean and professional the invoices look and how I can easily send them out via email to the yoga students or the consulting yoga teachers that I work with. In this past quarter, I was really stretching my money mindset muscles, and it's still a challenge for me, but I'm working on it. I became an entrepreneur when I was 11 years old, and then adding up the money was exciting. So I've been looking at why that was exciting then and why it feels more difficult now. I help a lot of yoga teachers who are dealing with money mindset issues. And after listening to Tracy Eccleston on our podcast, I realized that I can start to strengthen my money mindset a little bit more so that I'm more confident with it, even in my own yoga business, so that I can then also help other yoga teachers to do the same. So what did I do? I set a goal in the spring, thanks to some push from my business coach, Natalie Ekdahl, to look at my income and my expenses weekly. So Wave is so amazing for doing this. It pulls every transaction into the software from my banking information. And then at the end of the week, I just have to go through the transactions and match them to my invoices, what's come in, and my expenses. I really like how easy it is to split the transactions, and I can even just say, oh, that's a personal one. It doesn't belong here with my business ones. Click on that and move it over to my personal. This week, when I got the numbers all added up, I was feeling really excited again and connected a little more to that 11-year-old excitement about money. So I think the biggest takeaway for Wave is that when I started to look at my finances, I could see the progression of my business again. And there's a big image that always comes to me when I'm thinking about money mindset. And that's an image of an ostrich kind of sticking his head down into the sand. And I feel like at different times in my business, I've done that. I've just kind of head in the sand. I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. And that's always scarier. You don't know what's coming. And it's not really a place of empowerment or confidence or progression in a business. So I prefer to be looking around and seeing what's going on in my business, especially with the financial side of things. So there you have it, Connected Yoga Teachers. Those are my 6 favorite tools Again, all of them are free. Again, a gentle reminder, if you're going to try one out, just pick one to add now. You can always come back to this episode at a later date. Also, feel free to let us know if you are enjoying the podcast. Please go into iTunes, leave a review. I know there are a few steps there to leave a review, but it is such a gift to see how it's landing for you guys. Also, if you have questions or challenges, a great place to find support with these is in our private Facebook group. Again, go to theconnectedyogateacher.com, click on the Join the Community button. Some of you have been asking me about my consultation calls. So let me just fill you in now. The consultation calls that I offer have evolved. It wasn't a career I chose one day, but instead it was a career that found me via the many questions I was getting from yoga teachers I was around in yoga teacher trainings, online, in different spaces. I now offer initial consultation calls if we've never worked together. So that's 90 minutes where you pick 3 topics or 3 challenges. We do the 90-minute consultation call, and then I send you an email later that week with the audio recording of the call and a summary of what goals we set. After the initial consultation call, I offer 2 packages, a 6-month package and a 12-month package. This is where we talk at a minimum of once a month for the chosen time, either the 12 or the 6 months, for an hour. And this is where we check in together with the goals that you've set. I offer tools, tips, insight from my many years of teaching and running a yoga business. I like to share my passion for marketing in new and unique ways. Many of you tell me that that's my gift. And the consultation packages seem to be what is most popular now. I think because I get to know your business and I think about your questions between calls. I gather the information. I'm super passionate about topics that are helpful for yoga teachers, like social media, websites, email, time management, all of these business things that some people don't find as fun as I do. If you want to hear what a live consultation call sounds like, episode 2 and episode 18 are an example of this with just one topic. Also, if a consultation call feels out of your reach right now, the Connected Yoga Teacher has many resources for you. We have a website, a podcast that you're listening to right now, a live show, and then our community of yoga teachers on Facebook. Our goal at the Connected Yoga Teacher is to support you as a yoga teacher so that you have the time, the energy, and the inspiration to share the yoga that lights you up. Okay, Connected Yoga Teachers, I'm going to sign off for the day. Let me know in our show notes what tool you love to use. Let me know if you start using one of these, and I will see you next week. Have a fantastic day.